then, so here we are on the A59, which is a bit of a necessary evil for getting to where we're going, which is going to be massive. And I think the plan will be from Masson to Semawater. But while we're stuck here on the old A59, let's have a chat about the new Royal Enfield Classic 650. Hey, what do you think of it? I'll tell you what, on first impressions, and of course how these things look in pictures and how they look in the flesh can be a very different thing altogether, but I think they look absolutely fabulous. I do think a lot of that is down to the fantastic colour schemes, and my favourite, it's not the black and chrome, no, my favourite is that there teal colour, that teal blue turquoisey all over colour. I think that's a fantastic period colour that absolutely shouts out 1950s, 1960s. Looks $1 million. I would say, on first sort of impression, looks a little bit unbalanced. Looks like all front and very little back. Hey, to me. But that might be to do with the fact that all the pictures so far have not shown the bike with the pillion seat on. So maybe it'll look a bit more balanced with the pillion seat on. Don't know, haven't seen one, could be wrong. But here's my first thought on that there bike. Coloured to no small degree by the fact that I'm a Royal Enfield Classic 350 owner, obviously. As you can see, little Norman here, and also a BSA Gold Star 650 owner. So call me very old-fashioned and too much of a purist, but I think a truly classic bike which aspires to speak to a bygone age of British motorcycling probably needs to be a single. Not that there weren't twins and fours around then, but I just think that the DNA of the bygone days of British motorcycling in the 50s and 60s is rooted in a single cylinder engine. The other point is, and the caveat before I say anything else, is that the 650 parallel twin, the Royal Enfield 650 parallel twins, are a fantastic engine, absolutely bomb-proof, tried and tested, massively over-engineered, cracking engine without a shadow of a doubt. And I've either owned or ridden all the Royal Enfield 650s. So I owned a Royal Enfield Interceptor and I owned a Royal Enfield Super Meteor, and I've test ridden the Royal Enfield Shotgun and the Royal Enfield Continental GT. And what I would say about that there engine is, it's fine in the Interceptor, but when you stick it on, and in the Continental GT for that matter, but when you stick it in a bike weighing 30 kilos more than the Interceptor, i.e. the Super Meteor and the Shotgun, which come in at 240 kilos, it starts, to my mind, to lack that last little bit of oomph. Now, immediate comparison I make in my mind, because that Classic 650, I've not seen the weight, but I'm guessing because it's the same frame and it's got an awful lot of metal going on, which is a good thing. That's going to be 240 kilos plus, that there bike, that Classic 650. That would be my suspicion, and unless the engine's been tweaked or remapped in some way, I suspect that the feelings that I had about the Super Meteor and the shotgun will be mirrored to a certain degree by that bike. Now, I'm sort of talking hypotheticals, because obviously I haven't ridden one yet. Rest assured I will do as soon as we are to get a demonstrator in early next year. But I suspect it's going to feel pretty much the same, and having decided in my own mind that the logical progression from the Classic 350 to get the same feeling around style and the overall riding experience, the logical progression is the BSA Gold Star 650, because that bike makes me feel just like this bike, but it's got that extra bit of power. And since I know from riding the BSA Gold Star 650 and the Royal Enfield Interceptor 650 that the Gold Star has got more shove in the mid-range, I think it's fair to say that the difference in power delivery, if you were to ride the Classic 650 and the Gold Star 650 back to back, will be noticeable. I suspect, I'm guessing, I'm predicting, with my fingers firmly crossed, that the Gold Star will be noticeably more urgent with its power delivery and have that added bit of resonance which comes from being a good old single thumper. You see, that's the thing for me with the 650 engines in the heavier bikes, the Super Meteor, the shotgun and the Classic 650. That engine in those heavier bikes, to me, is neither one thing nor the other. So it's not so modestly powered as this little Classic 350 that you embark upon a ride with a completely different mindset, with no expectations, no sort of concerns about will I or won't I make a certain overtake or whatever, because you just don't bother. So it's not so modestly powered that you jump on the bike in that particular mindset. But on the other hand, in those heavier bikes, it's not got a sufficiently large advantage in terms of power over this bike to make a very noticeable difference and to make for a different riding experience, whereas I think the Gold Star just does that. It's just got the edge. Now, I may be completely wrong, I may be absolutely 100% wrong. They might have remapped the engine, they might have done a bit of tweaking here and there, and it may well deal with the weight of that bike very much as the engine does with the Interceptor and the Continental GT, where the balance is just right. So, what do you think? So that would be my concern. I just think they're a beautiful looking thing. I just absolutely love the two-tone colour approach. Love it. And yeah, I mean, they're all period colours, aren't they? The three colours, the black and chrome, the maroon and cream, and that teal blue colour. But the teal blue colourway for me absolutely cinches it. Beautiful. So yeah, that would be my only concern. Is the engine just going to feel a little bit vanilla compared to the riding experience on the BSA Gold Star 650, which I'm going to stick my neck out and say is a better looking bike. But I will reserve full judgment until I've seen a classic 650 in the flesh and ridden one. What do you think?